Hi everyone, welcome to Riyan's POV podcast. My name is Riyan and I am happy that you guys are here with me. So let's get into it. Okay, so as we all know, fall is around the corner, which I'm honestly so excited for. Like the leaves, the colors are gonna change. Um, Cooler weather, fall fashion is always top tier. The vibes are just good in the fall. And it's kind of sad because fall is like really, really short, especially where I live. Like it's literally like fall for like a day or two and then winter, which I'm not a big fan of winter. 0 out of 10. Anywho, um, as we all know, school is also going to be coming back in the next couple of weeks. So, as a recent graduate, alumni, um, I thought that I'd give a couple tips on going back to school. So, first off, let's start off with mindset. I feel like you have to actually mentally prepare yourself to go back to school because, like, summer was fun. Summer was all shits and gigs. But, like, now it's like, okay, you gotta, like, turn back on the brain. Gotta prepare yourself to go to classes, get your homework done. So, for mindset, I would say just go in with confidence because I feel like, especially like in the beginning, freshman year, I dealt with like a lot of imposter syndrome. And it's just like, I know we all kind of go through it at some point in our lives. And it's like, oh, like you're not smart enough. Like you just feel like you're not supposed to be there. But honestly, you put in the work, you applied, you got accepted. So it's just like you're meant to be there. Know that you're a student. You're just know that you're there to learn, and like don't compare yourself to others. Just because like when I was like going into the College of Biological Sciences, I was like, oh, like I like biology, but then there's like some people that were like super nerds, and I was like, wow, like these people are just so passionate about some of the stuff that we're learning, and I was like, it's good to be passionate, but like damn. But yeah, but to each their own. Like I feel like it's your own journey to your own success. So it's your own journey and this is your success story. So don't really compare yourself to others. Like I know it's like very easy to just be like, damn, like this person is doing so much better than I am right now. And it's just like, you got to do more positive self-talk and just like not comparing yourself to others, especially when it comes in academia, because we're all learning. We're all learning at the end of the day. Um, and I did mention this a little bit, like positive self talk. I feel like you just need to like look at the bright side to everything because like I know everybody's like, ugh, school. Like nobody wants to be doing schoolwork right now. Like it's just like, oh, I hate going to school, whatever. But you have to kind of gaslight yourself into enjoying it and like kind of flip it into like a positive light. Just because like if you constantly say that you hate school or you hate doing what you're doing, you're gonna like literally torture yourself every single day. So it's like might as well just tell yourself you really like doing what you're doing and like you're enjoying the learning process even though like sometimes it does suck. Um yeah, so literally just like it's like you're going to have a good day, you're going to go to your classes, you're going to learn something new. Um and just look at the bright side cuz you're in class anyways, so it's might as well like enjoy some aspect of it. Um, and the last thing I kind of wanted to mention about mindset would be to kind of just embrace the learning process. Um, and like, I used to kind of be hard on myself when I failed in something, or I didn't kind of like grasp the concept as quickly as others. And it's just like, setbacks are there. Failure is is part of the learning process. And it's not like you can't just think of it of, oh, I failed, therefore I'm not good at it. It's, oh, like something went wrong. How can I get better at this? Or how can I move on from this and improve in a positive direction? Let's say it like that. And just like have kind of like a growth mindset and focus on progress, not perfection. And just kind of be kind to yourself, because like obviously there's some things that you're just not going to get as quickly as other things in life. Um, and just be kind to yourself as you go throughout school, because if you're not kind to yourself, you're really going to have a rough time. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is scheduling. I feel like this is a little bit harder just because it's different for everybody, and it also depends on what you're studying in the sense, but balance is key. I feel like when you're like picking your classes, for example, you want to like pick one difficult class with, like, when I say difficult, I'm kind of like focusing more on the workload and the amount of stress it's going to give you. Like, you don't want 3 or 4 classes that have an extreme workload, because you're just going to literally stress yourself out at the end of the day, and it's just going to be too much. And you want to prioritize yourself in every situation. So you want to ensure that you have free time and just like time to do things outside of school. And that's kind of like where time blocks come in, because that's like what helped me get through everything. Every Sunday reset, I would like sit with myself and schedule out my whole week from what I need to prioritize on what day, and how long like certain things are going to take me. And I feel like that just like you need to give yourself time to kind of like get a feel for everything. But it's just like, oh, I know that this is going to take me like an hour to do, but this isn't high priority for this week. So it's like, okay, like I want to study for this class. I'm probably going to put it in the morning or later in the evening, but then I have like the rest of my day to kind of fill out. And you also want to incorporate other stuff like whatever hobby you have, like you're gonna put that in your schedule just so you have time for yourself. Like this time is like taken out for you, because you don't want to just like study 20 plus hours a day. Like, it's just not feasible at the end of the day. um and it also like ensures that you're not burnt out, because like if you have like certain blocks for yourself in your day, then it's like, okay, now you get to like de-stress, so you can go back, spend like 1 to 2 hours studying again later in the evening. um and you're not like overwhelmed with the amount of work that you have to do. And don't like stress out about what you have to do. Just focus on what you're doing right now, because I feel like I've also fell into this multiple times where I'm like, I have so much to do, da da da. Like, I get in my head about it, and it's like, that's tomorrow's workload. Forget about tomorrow. Focus on today, and just like focus on what you're doing at the moment. And that would honestly like make things go by a lot quicker. Literally lower your stress by like a million. This is just like a tip to commuters, because I was a commuter and I had to drive like 30 minutes to get to school every day. When I pick my classes, I usually make them on the same day. So it'll be like, for example, Monday, Wednesday I go to school, and the rest of the week, like, I don't have to physically be there. And that's just like big time saver because commuting takes forever. I don't like driving, especially in the winter. Um, One big thing is have a planner or something like a planner. I didn't really like a planner, like the actual physical planners. I don't know why I had like some weird beef with it, but whenever I bought a planner, I just never ended up using it. But I do have like this little thin notebook that I just put like, I literally call it my everything notebook because you'll have like notes or like things that I've been working on the side. It'll have my to-do list in there. It'll just literally have everything that I need in this small notebook, and it lets me like set goals for the day. Well, a planner can do that too, but to me, the notebook just makes sense, and I like the notebook a lot better. But yeah, so like I'll pick like one thing to do that's top priority, and then like two other things are just like whatever on the side. You know what I mean? If I get it done, I get it done. If I don't, that's totally fine. Um, but I don't go like more than like three things that I have to do that day. I don't like to have like a really long to-do list because if I have a really long to-do list, I start overthinking, and if I start overthinking, I'm stressed out, then I'm not going to do anything at all. Um but yeah, when you schedule out your week, you'll have a consistent routine. Like you'll structure your day for like study time, specific time for homework, and like even like I'm a little weird. I like put in my meals. Like I'll be like, this hour is for lunch, or like this hour is for me to go to the gym. And it's just like more of like time blocks. I would literally put everything in it. Like it's like 6 a.m. is like roughly when I get up. So it's like, okay, like what do I do at 6 a.m.? Like I build that consistent routine, and eventually I don't write it down, but then like I try to like write it down just so it's like off my checklist. And I feel like there's like this weird um dopamine that you get when you check something off your to-do list. It just makes you really really happy. So I was like, okay, little things, like add little things in there just so you get that little dopamine kick. um and there's like so many other techniques out there to like schedule your time and build routines. That's just like some stuff that worked for me. One other thing is prioritize your personal life. Like, yeah, your academic life is important and you have those responsibilities that you have to get through, but also prioritize your personal life. Try to like be with your family, be with your friends, find time for that. Like, literally, having a life outside of school is just super important. Um, and also prioritize your sleep. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, like I'm gonna get like 3 hours of sleep, or like people stay up really late like doing homework and so I was like, it's not worth it. I feel like we should always prioritize sleep, just because like your brain will work 10 times better when you have good sleep in comparison when you're sleep deprived. Like who wants to be sleep deprived? No one. Literally no one. um I know there's like some people that's like occasionally like they spend extra time studying, which is totally fine, but just get proper sleep. Like literally proper sleep. I feel like as an adult, or like especially like when I got to college, I freaking love sleep. Like I literally love to sleep. I can't wait to go to bed at night. Like that's where I'm at in life. But like when I was younger, I was like up all night, literally all night, and I feel like as you get older, you start to appreciate it way more. Literally way more. Okay, so some other tips I have would be attend your classes. Like I know there's like some classes that you really don't feel like necessary for you to attend. Um and sometimes like for me, a lot of my professors used to like post videos of the lecture online, but like I found myself like hitting the 2 times speed. Um and then I'll get distracted And I literally would have to find time to do that just because I spent the class time doing something else. And then I would fall behind, and it would be a whole shebang. But I feel like attending class, cause mainly because I'm an auditory learner too, it was just a lot easier, and it was a lot easier to follow. And then that also cut my study time outside of class literally by a lot. Um, and also, like I'm not a big note taker. Like, I know there's a lot of people that like sit and like write a whole lot of notes during their lectures. I'm not much of a note taker, mainly because like if I'm focused on writing my notes, I'm not hearing anything else. Like, I can't focus on multiple things like that. So one thing I used to do was like download the PowerPoint slides on to my laptop or my iPad, and then like I'll literally like write questions on the sides that, or like write questions about topics that I don't really understand or something like that. And I will like ask the professor afterwards, or like if he says something that's super important that's not on the slide, I'll like jot a note down quickly. But usually I just like literally just listen to the lecture. Um and yeah, just like use office hours because those are super important. Form study groups if you can, because it's always like it's better to discuss with your classmates just because you'll learn from each other. And also, I feel like you have to like learn how to study to actually study, because studying is different for literally everybody. And there's like a time where I would like read textbooks and it wasn't helping. Like, I there's a time where I stopped reading textbooks completely. um and like I would just use this study guide and like Quizlet. I really liked Quizlet. Like, if it wasn't for Quizlet, I feel like I'd flunk out of college. It really just like helped me memorize everything that I needed to know. And then also, it didn't require a lot of effort. You know what I mean? You can always make your own note cards too. But I was like finding like some people that took the class before, or like my classmates' Quizlets, because it makes life so much easier. Okay, so if you want to work while you're in school, one, prioritize school over work. Two, try to find a job that has a lot of downtime. I feel like that's like a mistake that I made um during like freshman year, because um I actually wanted to gain experience in the healthcare field. So I got a job as a clinical assistant. I learned a lot during that job. Like, I literally stayed there for about a year. Okay, so when I worked as a clinical assistant, it was like 2 days out of the week, and it would literally be from like 7 a.m. to like 4 that I'll be working. And it's like constant work. Like, it was like from one thing to another, and I was just like on my feet the whole time. Um, and if I have school tomorrow, I'm completely beat after. Like, I would literally like come home and pass out on the floor because of how tired I am. And like, it was like mentally draining and physically draining, that I wouldn't be able to like study afterwards, or like really put any effort into my schoolwork after work. I would literally just pass out, call it a day, and hopefully tomorrow will be better. Like, I learned a lot from the job. I'm like grateful that I did it, but it just wasn't the brightest idea to work like part-time 16 hours a week in a clinic while I was also a full-time student. But during my last year of college, I worked as a research tech, or undergrad researcher, which allowed me to have a lot of downtime. So it's like if I was working, for example, 4 hours in the lab, um, after my classes, I would like do one thing and now have to wait an hour before, um, like for example, if I run a gel, it takes like an hour to run. So it's like now I have an hour to like work on my homework or work on my schoolwork. So I would literally finish like 4 hours of schoolwork while I'm at work. So I get to multitask. So if you were to work in school, try to find a job where where you can multitask. And last but not least, you don't need to be addicted to coffee. Like, I was a coffee addict. And, like, honestly, everybody else was too, because it will be like 8 a.m. in the morning and everybody has like a giga sized coffee. And it was like freaking ridiculous. It's like your cortisol is already high. So it's like you're drinking coffee, you're going to crash out by 12, and now you're going to get another coffee. Like, I literally used to be like, or I used to like function off of caffeine for like a semester, and I had like a twitch in my eye. It was awful. My anxiety was through the roof. Okay, so that is all I have for you guys today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode and it was somewhat useful. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye.